The tech world is also still buzzing about Elon Musk's $97 billion offer for OpenAI. While Sam Altman rejected the bid, my next guest says it was clever. Musk was very clever in making this bold move. Joining me with more on that and the next big thing in Silicon Valley, we don't have to talk about SoftBank, is Sam Lessin, general partner at Slow Ventures. Sam, it's good to have you here. Welcome.
We can talk about SoftBank if you want.
I was going to tee you up for, your take on that, but maybe it'll be different this time.
Maybe. Who knows? I would say that, in our fund, we generally sell when SoftBank buys. Let's
Yes.
leave it at that.
I thought now people know, and they can take that forward. But listen, backing up for a second, what is the larger message of this fight that Elon Musk is waging over OpenAI?
Yeah, look, I think Elon feels burned, on personal perspective. I know other very early funders of OpenAI who thought they were funding a nonprofit effort that became something else and feel cut out of the equity and the story in a whole bunch of ways. So I think that's probably a lot of it is just personal, and we are in an age of personalities for sure. So I think that's part of it. And then look, the AI pie, for the hyperscalers, for the really big, it is the game of the moment. And what we've seen across the boards these days is that the ways in which people do business, wage war, whatever you want to call it, there are no punches pulled. And this was a very smart move, as my wife's publication, The Information, reported first, I believe. This does create problems for the OpenAI board, trying to do this private conversion and probably changes the dynamics there. So look, it's smart. It's a non-obvious move that Musk just pulled, and we'll see how it plays out.
You also, and this kind of leads us into our next discussion, but you notice, and I noticed, the way that Sam Altman responded to this. He responded kind of like Musk would or like Trump would. And we've seen this with Mark Zuckerberg, too. They're all taking on more and more personality.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a story I know you've talked about before about founder mode and what does it mean to be a person leading. And there's just this fundamental reorganization that's happening in terms of how businesses function because of frictionless infinite communication. And what you're seeing is that leaders, cult leaders, community leaders, business leaders are able to just speak directly to people more directly and more broadly versus working through corporate or, political apparatus. And it's a winning strategy. I mean, that was the Trump strategy. It was extremely successful. He's, one of the great media personalities of our age. And I think people are embracing it as that's how things are done in 2025.
And from an investment point of view, this kind of gets us into your strategy, which is, and you've been, into investing in creators for a long time. I would consider myself a skeptic of investing in people, given the track record of investing in athletes over the years and all these different, kinds of things, what were the Bowie bonds or whatever. Anyway, tell me a little bit about how you would go and say to somebody, listen, you're Mr. Beast. You're one of these influencers now who people are literally getting their news from and follow more than traditional news channels. How do they monetize that? How do investors benefit from that in the long run?
Yeah, so look, I think there's this clear thing that's happened in Silicon Valley business building and business building for a long time. The story has been to Stanford kids, have a product idea, build the technology first. It becomes successful. That creates a community around it. And then they're able to build more products on top. We're seeing an inversion where what's happening is smart young entrepreneurs are going out. They're picking niches that they really care about. It's aviation, it's lawn care, you name it. It's something they're really passionate about. And they build trusted community first and layer businesses on top. Mr. Beast deserves credit for showing how big that can get and how big it can get. That general creator space is not something we would invest in at Slow. We're much more into, specific verticals where the creator is able to have sustainable customer acquisition advantage with very high value customers long term. But it's happening everywhere. There's a new pattern of business building, and the job of venture capital should be to follow that. So I'm very happy. We've been doing this for years and refining the model. Just this morning, we announced our first dedicated creator fund, $60 million from institutional LPs. We're talking MIT and Michigan, people like that who are seeing that this is an important thing to start backing, and we want to be first doing it at scale.
I thought that was so fun.